Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am Dr. Supradip Das, Assistant Professor at the Department of Design, IIT Guwahati. And this is the 14th lecture of this course, Introduction to Toy Design. In today's session, we will look at how toys reflect and influence culture, drawing from a wide range of examples across different geographic and historical contexts. It explores how identity, tradition, globalization, and inclusive design intersect through toys and play, with special focus on Indian and global examples. By the end of this lecture, you will be able to learn the relationship between toys and popular culture, including the impact of films, television, celebrities, technology, and media franchises on toy design. Understand how play responds to societal change, technological advancement, and shifting cultural trends. Interpret toys as cultural artifacts that communicate stories, aspirations, and social narratives beyond their role as play objects. Understand cultural and trend analysis to conceptualize toy or play experiences that are culturally sensitive, relevant, and ethically informed. First, let us understand the influence of culture on toys. Toys are often thought of as simple playthings, but they are deeply embedded with cultural meaning. They are not only tools for amusement, but also instruments for transmitting social norms, cultural values, and traditional knowledge. Toys provide children with a framework for practicing roles, understanding societal hierarchies, and absorbing behavioral expectations. Culture can be defined as a way of life with shared systems of behavior, beliefs, and environments, with the foundation of customs and norms formed by the availability and necessity required for survival. Children learn and understand these aspects of the community through play. Individual development, both physically and psychologically, along with cultural assimilation, is the core value behind engaging children in play. Children often observe and replicate the roles and ways of adults or creatively give new purpose to objects. In the context of childhood, culture is not just inherited, but actively created and interpreted by children. Anthropological research indicates that children's toys are shaped by and reflective of broader cultural worldviews. Through play and everyday objects, children express and internalize how their society understands the world. Even the simplest toys carry layered cultural meanings, serving as symbolic tools through which children navigate and make sense of their social environment. Based on Vygotsky's sociocultural theory proposed in 1978, play is not only imaginative but also a form of mediated action where cultural tools, meaning toys, shape cognition and behavior. In understanding culture and play, play often reflects prevailing gender norms, technological shifts, and the economic system of society. As culture, play, and toys are directly influenced by the availability of time, space, objects, and partners. Urban settings favor age specific toys due to structured lifestyles, whereas rural play is often multi age and improvisational. Play is a cultural act. Toys are tools through which children internalize and reproduce cultural knowledge. It evolves across societies and eras, shaped by historical, ideological, and economic contexts. Play is influenced by the availability of time, space, objects, and partners, reflecting the underlying concepts associated with each aspect. It is a cultural phenomenon shaped by cultural norms that define the tools, rules, and meanings behind how children engage in play. Vygotsky introduced the idea that play mirrors social roles and cultural values, enabled children to imagine, imitate, and practice real life activities such as cooking, farming, or caregiving. And there are different approaches to play. In collectivistic cultures like Japan or India, play is cooperative and group oriented, while in individualistic cultures such as USA, competitive, individual, success oriented toys dominate. In multi age group play, rural settings harbor multi age group activities, aiding in a child's development beyond age specified limitations. Whereas in the same age group, play in urban settings categorizes play among similar age categories to ensure equal physical and mental similarities. And self autonomy in play supports self control, social self regulation, and self discipline, driven largely by intrinsic motivation. In many Western cultures, toys and play are designed to foster independence, encouraging children to make choices and direct their own actions. In contrast, play without strong self autonomy often relies on external guidance and extrinsic motivation. In many Asian cultures, scaffolding, whereas adults actively guide children's play and learning, is a natural and valued approach, emphasizing collective responsibility, structure, and social harmony. Have you ever thought what are the cultural factors influencing play? Play is deeply influenced by economic conditions which determine access to toys, materials, and play spaces. Community beliefs shape when, where, and how children are allowed to play. Some cultures encourage outdoor independence and self agency, while others limit movement for safety or conformity, impacting mental health and creative expression. Within these boundaries, children are not passive recipients. They actively interpret their environment, using available affordances to perform social roles, imagine possibilities, and construct meaning through play. Culture consists of aspects such as language, religion, gender, roles, economic structures, craftsmanship, symbolism, and value system. Each of these aspects can influence different elements of toy design, namely the form, texture, iconography, color, purpose, function, material. Toys. We know it is not just playthings, but cultural artifacts that reflect the values, history, and technological advancements of the society. They play a crucial role in child development, helping children learn, experiment, and understand the world around them. The elements of toys includes form, purpose or function, materials, color, style, shape, aesthetic, and language. Hence, here are some categories of toys based on cultural aspects. Routines and norms. Imitative or role play toys help children mimic adult roles and everyday social behaviors, allowing them to rehearse life as they observe it around them. Culturally, these toys reinforce societal expectations, occupations, and gender norms, shaping how children understand their place in the community. For example, kitchen sets in India or Japan often introduces domestic routines traditionally associated with women, while miniature tools in African and indigenous cultures mirror farming, fishing, or hunting, embedding cultural knowledge and values through play. The next is customs or craft based toys. The toys are often crafted from locally available materials and reflect our community's artisanal legacy. For instance, Channapatna toys from Karnataka, India, are created using neem wood and natural lacquer based dyes, a tradition passed down over generations. The use of neem wood is not merely functional but symbolic, as it carries medicinal and ecological value within Indian tradition. The toy's tactile qualities and handcrafted appearance communicates values of simplicity, durability, and natural harmony. The production of these toys sustains local economies and transmits woodworking skills within artisanal families, making the toy a reflection of both culture and social structure. Similarly, Zankla Studio in Assam produces handcrafted soft toys based on indigenous Boro heritage using regional motifs, colors, embroidery, techniques, and textiles to root play in place based identity. These toys contribute to cultural preservation by visualizing stories, attire, and motifs specific to the tribe. Form and structure of the toys are evidently inspired from various aspects of nature abundantly found there. These toys challenge homogenized global aesthetics by celebrating ethnic specificity. In gender based toys, toys play a critical role in shaping a child's development, not just cognitively or physically, but also in terms of identity, information, gender roles, and social behavior. Toys have carried the cultural narrative of gender throughout history, while still carrying its impactful position for reformed gender norms. Traditionally, many toys have reinforced clear gender binaries. In Western context, this is visible through pink and blue segregation, with dolls, kitchen sets, and caregiving toys marked to girls, while construction kits, vehicles, and action toys are aimed at boys. These design and marketing choices communicate early messages about care, strength, domesticity, and power. In other cultural settings, toys mirror community survival roles. In some tribal societies, warrior toys such as bows and arrows are given to boys, preparing them symbolically for hunting, protection, and leadership within the group. Here, toys function as tools of cultural transmission, passing values and responsibilities from one generation to the next. However, toys can also challenge these norms. Contemporary designers and brands are increasingly questioning rigid gender roles. Gender neutral toys such as Lego's Everyone is Awesome set moves away from prescribed identities and instead celebrate diversity, inclusivity, and self expression. Through these shifts, toys become sites of cultural negotiation, either reinforcing tradition or opening space for change. In folklore narratives, toys can be carriers of oral stories and folklores. Katputli puppets in Rajasthan is not just a visual representation of the region with its motifs, textiles, and attire. They also act as a medium for mythological narrations, translating social norms and values through those characters. These toys are instruments of both education and entertainment, historically used in village gatherings to communicate cultural lessons. Puppets can also be associated with the performative traditions of folk narratives. Similarly, Hanfu dolls from China, dressed in traditional Han Chinese garments, teaching children about historical attire and its evolution. The materials used, that is, silk and brocade, forms specifying gendered styling demonstrate how toys can reinforce ideas of identity, heritage, and intergenerational continuity, ensuring the roots of the community are preserved. The next is ritual or spiritual toys. Toys such as clay Krishna dolls or wooden Ratha, that is, chariot, function within religious observances and cultural festivals like Janmashtami or Rath Yatra. These are often not bought but gifted, and their material is selected based on the ritual purity. Form and structure of a religious object is often mimicked as well to help familiarize the child with various processions and rituals of the group. Through play, children mimic and rehearse ritual participation, linking spiritual identity to tactile experiences. Similarities in design of a Buddhist spiritual spinning wheel with the Chinese rattle further emphasize the point. In skill based toys, games like Palangui from Tamil Nadu embed strategic thinking, mathematics, and rhythm within play. Palangui, for example, requires counting, memory, and anticipation, all while using cowrie shells, stones or seeds, and hand carved boards that reflect local materials, supporting sustainability as well as purpose intergenerational connectivity with its heirloom qualities. The game reflects both cognitive skill development and social rituals. It also fosters a sense of preservation and saving embedded in Indian culture. Cultural understanding and social values are thus transferred to future generations, efficiently. And in literature and language, another such interesting game named Karuta in Japan efficiently ingrains poetry, literacy, and memory. These Karuta cards teach language through classical literature, ensuring linguistic and cultural continuity. The reading deck, along with the illustration deck, combines both visual and linguistic aspects, while the group recitation enables collective interactions and learning and reverence for history. Sayings incorporate language values of their culture along with the visual language, showcasing specific traditional attire and routinely roles, objects to help familiarize the child with verbal, social, and visual values of the culture. That is, narrates and educates their way of living. Multicultural toys are designed to reflect a variety of cultures, traditions, and backgrounds, providing children with early exposure to the diverse people and ways of life in the world. Playing with toys that represents different ethnicities and cultural experiences can help kids develop empathy, reduce prejudice, and appreciate diversity. These toys encourage children to view differences as positive and understand multiple perspectives from a young age. Additionally, they help boost self esteem and foster a positive identity, especially for children who see their own culture represented in the toys they play with. Now, let's look at the toys and popular culture. The contemporary toy landscape reflects a confluence of cultural narratives, technological innovations, psychological research, and global market dynamics. As play becomes increasingly intertwined with media, education, and commerce, toy design has adapted to meet evolving consumer demands and developmental expectations. In Module 2, we learned about the timeline and evolution of toys in generic. However, in this section, we will look at toy evolution contextual to culture from 1800s to 2000s. The evolution of toy culture from the 19th to the 21st century reveals the influence of industrialization, war, globalization, and shifting educational philosophies. In the 1800s, toys were largely handmade and reflected adult tools or societal norms such as miniature kitchen sets, farm animals, and dolls. These objects reinforced moral instruction and social behavior. Materials include wood, metal, and fabric. By the early 1900s, the Industrial Revolution introduced mass production, making toys more widely available and affordable. The Victorian era emphasized moral and imaginative play, evident in board games, trains, and dolls that reflected British colonial ideals. In the Edwardian period, nursery decor and toys increasingly embraced gender specific roles. The mid 20th century saw a dramatic shifts due to the world wars and the post-war boom. Wartime materials like tin were repurposed and themes such as patriotism, military roles, and technological progress dominated toy designs. The 1950s introduced plastics, as revolutionary materials, flexible, durable, and cheap, which led to the explosion themes, construction sets like Lego, and battery-operated toys. Gender distinctions in marketing also grew sharper during this period. By the 1980s and 1990s, globalization and media convergence reshaped toy production. Popular culture TV shows, films, and video games began to dictate toy design, with brands like Barbie, G.I. Joe, and Transformers dominating shelves. Marketing to children became aggressive, aided by cable television and fast food toy tie-ins. In the early 2000s, marked the rise of digital and interactive play. Electronic learning devices, computer-based games, and branded merchandise reflected the growing influence of global franchises and technology. The toy industry began incorporating more education-driven designs, responding to parental concerns about screen time and skill development. And these shifts set the stage for the reforms of the 2010s and 2020s, where sustainability, inclusivity, and psychological wellness have become central to the toy design. The emphasis is now on holistic development, cultural grounding, and user adaptability, informed by earlier lessons in over-commercialization, material ethics, and social conditioning. After understanding the evolution, now let us look at toy trends from the past 5 years and present. Contemporary toy design is marked by an emphasis on multifunctionality, emotional intelligence, sensory engagement, and sustainability. The industry has gradually transmitted from single-purpose plastic toys to dynamic, interactive systems that foster critical thinking, creativity, and cultural awareness. These shifts are not merely market-driven, but also reflect pedagogical research in childhood development and parental concerns regarding inclusivity and eco-responsibility. The first one is eco-lasting play trend. It reflects a growing shift towards responsible consumption, with 45% of parents considering environmental impact and 58% valuing durability when buying toys. Brands are increasingly judged on craftsmanship, extended play value, and heirloom quality, positioning toys as long-lasting companions rather than disposable products. Bloom Toys exemplifies this trend by creating modular products that double as both toys and functional furniture. These pieces are designed not only to accommodate different stages of childhood development, but also to blend seamlessly into contemporary living environments. These toys support open-ended play through minimalistic design. The second is vitamin play trend. This trend emphasizes playing with purpose, where toys are chosen to support cognitive, emotional, and physical development through mindful play. Examples like Spartan Kids Human Organs flashcards and Shifu Tacto coding reflect a holistic approach that connects learning, well-being, and play. The third is eerie enhancement toy trend. This trend draws on mystical, magical, and supernatural themes, appealing strongly to kidults, seeking mystery and emotional depth by using hidden features, secret codes, and new technologies. These toys create a sense of curiosity, suspense, and playful thrill beyond conventional play. Examples such as Potions of Azeland and Jumanji. The fourth is anime-inspired toy trends. It reflects the growing influence of Japanese pop culture among teens and kidults, blurring the line between play and collecting. From niche fandoms to mainstream platforms like Naruto and anime-style collectibles, these toys thrive on strong visual identity, storytelling, and fan culture. And the fifth is AR/VR integrated toy trend. AR/VR integrated toy trend merge physical play with digital layers, allowing children to interact with virtual content through real-world objects. Examples like Smartivity Globe Explorer show how technology-driven toys enhance STEM learning, exploration, and immersive storytelling through augmented reality. The sixth is interactive and group-focused toy trend. This trend emphasizes collaboration, communication, and shared problem-solving rather than solo play. Through partnership with educational institutions such as Rigmajig Basic Builder Kit, these toys turn play into a collective learning experience that builds social, spatial, and teamwork skills. Now we will look at the toy trend of present 2025-26. The first is STEM toy trend. This trend are designed to go beyond passive play, encouraging children to experiment, problem solve, and create. Unlike traditional toys with fixed outcomes, STEM toys invite children to build circuits, code simple programs, construct structures, explore scientific concepts, and express creativity through art and design. By combining logic and imagination, these toys reflect a shift toward learning through play. STEM prepare children not just for future careers, but for critical thinking, collaboration, and adaptability. And second is mesh toy trend. This focus on mental, emotional, and social health, supporting children's well-being through calming, empathetic, and socially engaging play. They encourage emotional expression, self-regulation, and connection, reminding that play is also a tool for care and healing. Toy design increasingly incorporates elements of emotional development, particularly those with special needs. Plush toys that stimulate breathing, such as the Purble or Fidget toys that regulate stress or kinetic send, have been shown to reduce anxiety and improve focus. Toy makers are partnering with psychologists and educators to ensure that design addresses mental health in age-appropriate and culturally sensitive ways. Third is personalized play, which is a trend with a growing demand for personalization, has led to toys that children can customize to reflect their own identity, interests, and moods using elements that are self-decorative, magnetic, attachable, detachable, and reusable. By giving children autonomy over how our toys look and function, this trend encourages independent decision making, creativity, and out of the box thinking. The fourth is intercultural toy trends. This trend reflects a globalized world where children engaged with toys, inspired by multiple cultures, festivals, and traditions beyond their own. By encouraging cross cultural play, these toys help build inclusivity, empathy, and global awareness from an early age, enabling children to connect with others across borders through play. The fifth is nostalgia trip trend. This trend blends nostalgia with innovation, reimagining classical toys, characters, and play patterns using contemporary materials, digital integration, and modern values. These toys, Tamagotchi Now and Tamagotchi's 90s, enable cross generational play, allowing parents and children to share memories while preserving and evolving play narratives, aesthetics, and cultural heritage. Sixth is entertainment and media influence toy trend. This trend grew through licensing, where characters from films, TV shows, games, and digital platforms are transformed into play objects. This trend strengthens emotional connections, extends storytelling beyond the screen, and turns toys into physical extension of popular culture. Example, Toy Story toys. And seventh is collectible and therapeutic toy trend. This trend tap into nostalgia and emotional comfort, offering familiarity, a reassurance, and personal meaning through play. Whether designed for calming, healing, or memory driven enjoyment, these toys show how play can support emotional well being across ages, not just childhood. Examples such as Labubu dolls as collectible. We understand the global toy trends now moving ahead to India. The current toy trend in India is that the toy industry is undergoing a strategic transformation driven by state level and national level policy intervention. Under the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative, there has been a push for locally made toys that integrate Indian cultural themes and sustainable materials. Traditional toys such as Channapatna wooden figures and board games like Palangui have seen a resurgence supported by digital marketing and urban nostalgia for handcrafted products. The industry is aligning with global safety regulations while embedding regional identity into design framework. This includes the use of indigenous materials like neem wood, natural lacquers, and cotton, and an increasing preference for eco certification among middle class consumers. The revival of toy reflects a broader global trend of nostalgia, where the aesthetics and ethical value of the past is recontextualized through contemporary lenses. While we understand influences of culture on toys and popular culture and toy trends, it is also important to know about toy color, as color remains a powerful language in toys, influencing perception, emotion, and interaction. Its role is shaped by psychology, marketing, gender norms, spirituality, and cultural symbolism. Do you know that colors are associated with toys? For psychological and developmental considerations, according to Gumulia and Gunavan, color is essential in stimulating infant cognitive development. High cultural contrast, pairings, and primary colors like red, blue, and yellow attract infants' attention, aiding visual tracking and mental focus. However, overstimulation through intense saturation may lead to distraction and irritability in toddlers, making pastel hues preferable for sustainable calming toys. In cultural significance, color usage varies cross culturally. In India, green symbolizes prosperity and is often used in toys representing nature and life cycles. In China, red signifies luck and celebration. Western toys traditionally follows a pink-blue binary introduced in 20th century through reformative trends now push towards gender-neutral palettes in toys and branding. And in marketing and branding strategies, companies often use distinctive signature colors to establish brand recall. Lego's yellow and red or Nerf's orange blue schemes are instantly recognizable. Color also aids in age-based market segmentation, bright tones for infants and toddlers, more complex palettes for older children and kidult audiences. Toys, it functions as a powerful cultural text mediating between childhood, identity, and society. But whose values are being carried forward and whose are being left out? As toys adapt to globalization, digitalization, and shifting social norms, how can designers balance cultural rootedness with innovation without diluting meaning? With growing emphasis on inclusivity and sustainability, can toys move beyond stereotypes to genuinely nurture empathy, agency, and emotional intelligence? As play becomes increasingly structured, screen mediated, and individualized, what responsibilities do designers hold in shaping future childhoods? Ultimately, if toys are both cultural inheritances and tools for transformation, how might they be designed to educate, connect generations, and imagine more equitable futures? With these critical inquiry questions for you to think over, let us end today's lecture and see you all in the next lecture.